My name is Vinćencom. I'm from Sicily, south of Italy, and I always had a passion for creativity, curiosity, imagination. I didn't know what to do with it until I ended up studying design. I did industrial and product design BA in Italy. I also had the opportunity to do my Erasmus period in the UK at Plymouth University in Exeter. It was a great period because I learned to combine the depth of Italian approach into design, into the culture of design. We're talking about semiotics, psychology of perception, and all the important reasons why we do design, with the pragmatism and the innovation, iterative, collaborative capacity of the Anglo-Saxon approach. It was a good point for me also to meet IDO in London, which is a place where I've been a couple of times, and that enlightened me a different way of doing design. I've always been caring about creating situations, experiences, and services for people, and that's why I evolved from just designing products, which are good, but not good enough because they don't have their own life, and designing the space in between products and people, which is the space for intangible design, the space for interactions, for relationships, experiences, and services. That's why I quickly started define my process of design. I did a master at the University of the Arts London at Centre St. Martin. It was a 2-year course where I was pushing the boundary of design, which is not just posters and toasters, but it's also processes and systems. It's about people's life and how can we enhance and improve the daily quality of their interactions. While I was working at the University of the Arts, a few months after my degree show, I started working with Design Against Crime, which is a center for research and innovation that use design to prevent or reduce crime to happen. So I learned that surely we are designing for people, but we also not just designing for the user, there's also the misuser and the abuser. They will use our design in the wrong way. So that took me really aware of the political side of design. And when I say we're designing for the real world, to quote Victor Papanek book, it's a guy from the 70s who was talking about the bad and the good things of design. I think that socially responsive design that responds to the need of society, not just of the market, it's what I need to work on. I started a company, it's called Common Ground. It's bringing together design intelligence and expertise with business innovation or social innovation. We like merging patterns between the physical and the digital, between art and science, between business thinking and charity sense-making projects. We work with a variety of different projects. I'm based in Italy, in Bologna at the moment, and learning from corporates and learning from startups and learning from NGO, it's a fascinating world. It gives us the intellectual freedom to take design thinking processes at different levels and spectrums. Running workshops and facilitating is the new stage of what designers should be doing. More increasingly, we're working on complex projects and systems where we need to talk with different domain experts. We are creative process experts. So being creative process expert, that allows us to replicate the same models, processes, and methods while working with a hospital, with a bank, with a digital startup, and we work with domain experts. But increasingly more, we need to be facilitators that get different languages and different mental models to connect and click. And that it's an art. The art of hosting, game storming capacity to keep the high level of energy and engagement for participants of a workshop, and at the same time being serious enough to bring it down to the ground and to talk about why we're doing this funny exercise right now, why we're using 6 thinking hats by Edward de Bono and swapping roles in the middle of a brainstorming session. Why can we take this facilitation, small techniques like dot voting or giving more structured feedback to our work? When we design a workshop, we always think the first question we ask is, who is it for? People come first. Then we ask about context and client's expectation. Sometimes the expectation of a workshop, it's solving a problem. If it's about solving a problem, we make sure that before the workshop, we prepare ourselves, we get enough details or enough inspiring case studies that can help us unlock that problem. If the purpose of the workshop is engagement, inspiration, and build a creative culture, we work on a different way. We target creativity games, and we work on transferability. You know, design thinking has got a lot of common principles and can be easily transferred and applied in different fields, from politics to schools to hospitals to migrant refugee camps. So how do we tweak and think about a workshop as a service or experience itself? There is a before, there is a during, there is an after. There is preparation, there is the performance, there is a follow-up. And although workshops could be 1 day masterclass, 1 day hackathon, 3 days global service jam or open innovation challenge, or a 5 days Google design sprint, we're trying to look at what is the experience of people during the workshop. Like a stand-up comedian, we're not gonna give away our best jokes at the beginning, but we're trying to build our climax towards the end of the workshop. So there is a lot of build-up expectation and the haha, ta-da moment that comes just before ending. Workshops and engaging innovation creative marathons, they work mostly at mindset level. It's not just about learning new tools or new techniques. Tools and techniques are out there. It's about thinking and acting in a different ways. When we say show me, don't tell me, when we say doing, not talking, when we say think with your hands, we're forcing people to put aside their logical operating system and switching to a more creative, uncertain way of acting and operating. That is about helping them navigating ambiguity. It's about exploring possibilities. It's about stumbling upon innovation. How is that reflecting in our daily life and daily job? That is different according to the clients. There are corporate clients that are very structured and they have rules and they have policy and they have compliance, so it's not easy to change the way you work. I think for startuppers and in our regular life, things get easier because you can experiment and play seriously more. If people ask me, are you a designer or you do design, I would say probably I am a designer, which means I tend to transfer my design thinking activities to the regular things I do in life: cooking, reorganizing my room, planning a trip. We all design all the time, we're just not aware of it. What's life after hackathons? What happens when a creative, high energy, high pace events end? How do you go back to business as usual but changing something? That's a question we get asked all the time. We believe the workshops and hackathons and creative jams and open innovation challenge masterclasses are can openers into the mind of our clients. Organizations, corporates, even institutions are made out of people after all. Changing people's mind, its ultimate goal, even if we're talking about final users or CEO, CTO, or whatever, we're talking about people shifting mindset and start thinking and deciding and behaving in a different way. What we're trying to do is nudging different way of thinking, nudging different behaviors. And the workshop is just a practical bootcamp exercise to try it out. It's a prototype of what you can do in your real life, in your real work. After that, the follow-up is interesting because you want to not just creating a buzz. We've been working with big clients where the first goal was we want to create a shared innovation culture. At that point, a 3 days event was good to get the vibe. But then they say, we don't just want to be perceived as innovative, we want to become more innovative. At that point, you need to step into a longer process that really takes design thinking at its full potential. You need to do ethnography, research. We're talking about 3 to 6 months project at least, because if you want to give depth and meaning to the project you're doing, and if you want to embed an innovation capacity into your colleagues and employees, you need to do that over time. You cannot accelerate change. You can incubate people and ideas. Then you can accelerate business models, you can accelerate technologies. But you need to respect people's time to change and learn. Well, the first thing will be stop pushing and start pulling. I'm talking about nudging. I'm talking about creating a situation where the difference between doing things business as usual and doing things in a different way, it's self-evident, the difference. So there is a pulling force that get them to see, ooh, this is an inception workshop. They put an idea inside my head, inside my brain, inside my dream. Change needs to come from within. It doesn't need to be pushed or, we cannot cover an old building with wallpaper and hoping they will last longer. We need to stick something at the heart of the problem, what is the why companies and organizations exist, and now from there we can driving forces for changing the organization. At this stage, I think it's important for companies to try out. So trialing innovation, prototyping solutions is what they need to do. And if they are really risk adverse, if they don't like change or the concept of change, give them time and space for innovation. That means they are not good at having an innovation inside center, get them to have an innovation corner in every office. Innovation is contagious. As soon as you start tasting it, it's like drugs, you want more. So let's start with tasting session and not buffet. It's not pick and mix. It's like, okay, taste a bit of this, now taste a bit of this. And that could be run a creative morning, creating spaces like the ICT Hub, moments where corporates and the bees and the trees, the corporates and the startuppers, the freelancer, the creative and the senior management can meet and exchange experiences. There are different skill sets that need to collide. It's not we all gonna be creative in design thinking. We still need people that can do administration and management and and human resources and marketing and sales. That is all important. Design thinking, it's a way of seeing. It's a way of thinking. It's not a tool. It's not a magic bullet. It's a pill you take and that will change your perspective. Corporates, senior managers, CEOs that don't understand the importance of smart working in nowadays society, they're not able to imagine the work of the future. They need to think about flexible working environments, about collaboration, which is cross-functional teams, is about interdisciplinary approach to problem solving. The problems that we're trying to solve today is not just selling more chairs. It's not just opening new restaurants. It's about more complex, more complicated sort of economical systems. We need more power from all different ways. And as we cannot get it all at once, we're gonna take it in small doses. It's like antibiotics to not die. We train small doses and smart working, creating spaces where these different worlds can work together and sometimes, not all the time, cooperate. That's the only way it's gonna happen. Corporate departments that do silos innovation or R&D, research and development on its own, it's not going to last. We always say the R&D department, the innovation unit should be transversal, should be spread across the organization. For organization, they're very structured. It's very difficult to do that for logistical reasons, for skills reasons, but that's the only way you're going to change the organization. Otherwise, you're going to have a unit dedicated to innovation, a unit dedicated to sales, and the people that are selling, they're not selling innovation. And the people that are innovating, they're not going towards sales. That's, customer insights doesn't always lead to business results. And business insight doesn't always lead to customer satisfaction. So how do you blend things together? And now design thinking can be the enabling glue or the common ground to make corporate values and sense-making living together. Back to Italy today. I'm gonna be back to Bologna where we're trying to start a playground, which is also a space for innovation and collaboration. I was involved in Sicily by setting up an Impact Hub. I know there is an Impact Hub here in Belgrade. There are about 80 around the world. It's interesting to have a space to play and to exchange and to meet interesting people. So that's what we're trying to work on the rest of 2018. For 2019, I think I got a book in the making. It's a book about service design, and it's about service design in Italy. We're also trying to productize some of the things we do when we facilitate, when we engage clients in this sort of high-speed, high-pace type of events. We're trying to create products to enable clients to do in their own way. For some of our clients here in Serbia, we built a platform where they can pick and mix innovation methods, tools, and packages to achieve multiple goals. I think we're going to go towards that way, because after all, we don't just make design, we also share design, and sometimes we shake organizations through it.